Simon Kinberg in talks to produce Star Trek movie franchise for Paramount. Well, a whole franchise? Well, of course, it was one, but then something happened. Longtime X-Men producer Simon Kinberg is beaming up to a new franchise, the Multi-Hyphenate. Multi-Hyphenate? I guess they mean the positions he's held? Yeah. The Multi-Hyphenate is in talks to produce a new Star Trek feature. If all goes well, so it's just the talks, see. This could all change tomorrow. But anyway, if all goes well, the door would open to him taking creative roles on the rest of the storied franchise's film side. Alex Klutzman and Akiva Goldsman are the main creative producers on Star Trek's television side. Well, they certainly are in charge and do produce shows they call Star Trek, but creative? No. The project Kinberg would step into is already in very active development. So this would, I guess, still be the Star Trek 4 film that they keep promising, with multiple people attached, now all gone. Yeah, the last guy, he's doing Fantastic Four. So anyway, Toby Haynes, who directed episodes of the Star Wars series Andor, which was actually pretty good, amazingly, in a sea of crap over there. That was pretty good. Is on board to direct the new feature, with Seth Grahame-Smith writing the script. The project is said to be set decades before the events of 2009 movie that was directed J.J. Abrams. You mean by J.J. Abrams? Likely around modern times. Oh boy! It is said to involve the creation of the Starfleet and humankind's first contact with alien life. Both are stories they've already addressed. Enterprise was about the early days of Starfleet, and then, of course, First Contact was a Next Generation movie. So, I'm already not interested in this. Just a new take on that? So, I guess this still counts as the movie that would have been their Star Trek 4, but now would be a prequel of those films? Even though it takes place in a time before. Because remember, time travel shenanigans is what created the J.J. Abrams movie timeline. And that would have been at the time Jim Kirk was being born, So this would be even earlier than that. So it really wouldn't apply to it at all, or however you want to put it. But these stories have already been dealt with. Abrams, unfortunately, remains involved with the new project as a producer. There is no release date for the feature because it's probably not going to happen, but the studio has signaled that it would like a 2025 opening. Good luck on that. Of course, if they set it in modern times and it's really just some story of some guys dreaming about going into space, and then they meet an alien and realize, hey, that's possible, and then that's the end. That can be pretty cheap to do. The machinations of the franchise take place against the backdrop of a potential sale of Paramount. Oh, yes. Which could find itself under the ownership of Sony or Skydance. There hasn't been a Star Trek movie since Star Trek Beyond. I wonder why. Which was released in 2016. In recent years, Trek primarily has lived on the small screen. Boldly. No. Finding new life thanks to numerous streaming shows on PP. Among them, STD, Poopard, and Familiar Old Worlds. That's right. They've yet to actually visit a strange new one. Yeah. Efforts to relaunch the film side, including reuniting the Abrams Trek cast with Chris Pine, Zoe Saldana, Simon Pegg, among others, have ended up stranded on rocky alien shores. They didn't have the money. That's what happened. And they kept making announcements, and then the cast would say, news to me, and then it would go up in smoke. Paramount is also understood to be developing a fourth Trek. You just said that. To feature that cast that is being described as the final chapter for this group. Okay, so this prequel Trek movie is separate. All right. Okay. Kinberg rose to prominence thanks to his writing and producing work on Fox's X-Men franchise, over whose course he took creative control and even made his directorial debut with Dark Phoenix. Yeah. He has also worked movies. You mean worked on movies, ranging from Murder on the Orient Express, haven't seen it, to The Martian, haven't seen it, as well as select Star Wars projects, I'm guessing Andor, which would be a plus in my opinion. Anything else? The first 2 seasons of Mando, maybe that. And he worked with Graham Smith before as co-screenwriter and executive producer on his adaptation of Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. Okay. And a hat tip to Puck, who came up with this story first. So there you go. I will give Simon Kinberg one thing. I don't know how much involvement he had in the Fox X-Men movies, most of which I liked. Dark Phoenix, no. But some of the shenanigans going on there wasn't entirely his fault. However, he did step up to the plate and took full responsibility for its failure. He didn't go off and blame the fans and all this other stuff. I think he could have blamed Disney interference to some extent. It was supposed to be a feature of the Skrulls. I don't think that would have saved it. But the alien characters in there were supposed to be Skrulls. At least they would have been the bad guys, you know. But it just wasn't that good. It really bombed pretty badly. And that was pretty much the end of the Fox X-Men. Now owned by Disney, and gets a second shot at life a little bit with Deadpool and Wolverine. So there's that. Maybe he has a shot of making something, but already the premise sounds terrible. I don't care for that, and that's unfortunate. And really, Star Trek, again, needs a good TV series. It doesn't have one now. And it would be decades from now, probably, before it does, provided it can shift to someone else, some other hands of someone who understands science fiction, has the damn professionalism to at least research a product, you know, like someone did way back when and came up with Wrath of Khan, you know, who was not a Star Trek fan or any of that. So you don't have to be a Trek fan to do good Trek work. You have to be a professional. And understand the entity that is or was Star Trek and what made it work. That's what it takes. Does Kinberg have the ability to do that? I'm dubious, but at the very least do that. But again, the premise that's already there. If part of the talks could be, yeah, can I throw out the premise? Well, we did that because we thought it would be really cheap. Yeah, it would be, but we got to come up with something else because it's territory they've already dealt with in Star Trek. And oh man, prequels. There was a time when a prequel idea would have been a cool thing, but it's been attempted so many times now in several franchises, and they've been awful. And that's that. The concept has been so badly stained at this point that you just can't get past the stench to even give an idea a shot. And this one doesn't have no interest in this idea of the beginnings of Starfleet and humankind's first contact with alien life. No, sorry. So, this really isn't good news at all. But, if this guy can do some research and toss out that premise and come up with a different one, maybe... No. There's no reason to have any hope for Star Trek right now. And I hate saying it, but it's true. And most of all, it needs a good TV series before you do another movie. But we'll probably get the movie anyway, no matter how bad it is.